Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Newcastle ahead of a huge night of boxing at the Virtu Motors Arena, live on DAZN. Josh Kelly, the world number 2, taking on the unbeaten Gabriel Corzo of Argentina. Huge night, a packed undercard, and we'll speak to all the guys in due course. But Calla, start with you. Can you set the scene for us, please? Another big night for Josh, potentially some huge nights to come, should he come through Saturday evening.
First of all, it's great to be here in Newcastle. Looking forward to a massively stacked show here live on DAZN on Saturday night. You know, the end of last year, obviously Josh went out with a massive bang. It felt, like I said at the post-fight press conference, closing of a chapter that I think is one of the best comebacks in British boxing in recent times. A man who'd been written off, a man who picked himself up, dusted himself off with the help of Adam, and mostly himself, who wanted to show the world that it wasn't just some hype job. He's a man who possesses unbelievable skill, great engine, a formidable boxer, and a huge talent. We always talk about potential. We're now talking about the world number 2. And after facing someone like Troy, a top fighter himself, an absolutely top fighter himself, he can't go back down. So sitting next to him on my left, we have the world number 9. Given the situation with the titles, the belts in that weight class, expect a lot of things to happen still this year. A lot of world titles becoming vacant shots, number 2 in the world. You win Saturday night and you are right there, my friend. Exactly what he wants. Of course, as a promoter, you know, I've done a few tournaments in my time, and I just look around at this British scene and see that there's some great domestic fights as well, which, you know, I know the UK love. You know, if you look at the names up there around that weight, you've got a Kell Brook returning, you've got obviously a Chris Eubank Jr., a Liam Smith, a potential Conor Benn return. You've almost got a Super 6 or a Super 5 right there. So, you know, we've obviously got our eye on that scene as well. And it's exciting times. Starting here in Newcastle, the North East Takeover is back on Saturday night, live on DAZN.
Thank you, Calla, and yeah, plenty to pick up on there when we come back to the main event. But let's start with a very hard-hitting undercard, and let's start with 2 heavyweight action: Stephen Robinson, Franklin Ignatius. This can't fail to deliver. Franklin, what sort of fight are you expecting? What are you expecting Stephen to bring, and how are you going to deal with that?
I'm expecting him to basically box like a plank of wood, as he's done previously. Continue that theme, and then it's up to me to handle business and do it in good fashion.
Stephen, you've just heard what Franklin said there. Plank of wood. I'm sure you would contest that assessment.
That's fine. Let's see if his chin can take the plank of wood. So, listen, he can say what he wants. He can think what he wants to think. But you know, I know when the left or the right hand lands, he's going to sleep. So that's that.
Is there a beef here that we're maybe not familiar with? Is there some history between you 2 guys?
No, nothing. No, nothing. I don't know the man. I'm just here to do my job as usual, and here's just another person in front of me, and I'll do what I need to do.
What's your prediction, Franklin?
Stoppage. I don't know when. You know, it'll happen whenever, but I think it all depends on what he shows and how he predicts. But the main thing is winning. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm focused on. But ultimately, you make a chink in the armor, you make a mistake. That's it.
Stephen, same to you. How do you see it going? What's your prediction for the fight?
Well, it depends how quick you can run around that ring, like he normally does. You know, it depends on how quick he's been doing the 800 meters, because that's all he does. He just runs around the ropes, and you know, we'll see how he feels when I'm pressuring him and sitting on his chest and hiring these big windmills that he keeps talking about, and see if his chin can take it. He's going to get stopped before the 4th.
Calla, I'm already excited for this fight.
Yeah, it's good. Roll it on. I mean, where's the ring? Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to sell here? They've done the selling for me, you know. I mean, it's heavyweight fights are always interesting. This one's got a bit of spice to it. You know, they both have been on our cards before. Very, very, very interested to see the outcome on Saturday night. But I don't really need to put spice on top of that.
Excellent. Also on the undercard, Ben Marksby, local favourite. Ben, boxing's in your blood, isn't it? You know, it was always something that you were going to pursue. You know, your dad had it, you know, running the gym and things. And just talk to me about your journey to this point, 6-0 pro, and you know, exciting times ahead.
Well, I've been in the gym since like 7 years old, so it's all I know really. And come Saturday, just sure that I can prove I'm meant to be up on these stages and another win.
What does the next 12 months hold for you, Ben? What would you ideally like to, you know, be sitting in a position at 12 months' time? You know, you've barely dropped around so far as a pro.
Like I'm only 23, so I'm still only young. Within the next year, I just want to be busy. Another 5-6 fights hopefully in 12 months, and just see where it goes from there.
And if you're in that position, we would be talking title contest, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, another 5-6 fights from now. English, British, any of them, I'm there. I'm ready for them.
What are you making of the champions domestically at the minute?
Like I said, I haven't. They're all good, but another year from now, I think even they'll have moved up. So I think they'll all be new people to face.
Excellent. Look forward to Ben's latest contest. Also on the undercard, our exciting young pro from Hemsworth in Yorkshire, stunning Cody Smith. Cody, for people who aren't familiar with you, you've only had the one pro fight, but an extensive amateur background. Just introduce yourself and tell us what you're about.
Yeah, I'm Cody Smith. You see what you get, really. I look the part and I am the part, so it's as simple as that. I've had a good amateur record, but that's in past now. I'm looking towards the future, and you'll see more of me, and I'm here to steal the show on Saturday night.
I mean, you say good amateur. You were destined for the Olympic pathway, but they removed your weight, didn't they, at the international stage? So you turned over maybe quicker than expected.
Yeah, I turned over a lot quicker. They took 60 kilo out, they gave 60 kilo to women. I was too big to make 57 kilo on day, and I was too small for 63.5 kilo. So my team decided to turn professional, and I think it's a right decision.
You know, we talked about this yesterday, Cody. You know, Yorkshire boxing's thriving. Warrington, Maxie Hughes, and all the guys there. But you believe you're the coming force of Yorkshire boxing, and in a few years you'll be at the top. You'll be the guy that's headlining the big arenas, and maybe Oakwell we spoke about at Barnsley.
Yeah, I think it'll be less than a few years that I'm at top of that pile. I think I've got something a lot of fighters and that's the looks, the talk, and I can fight. So in a few years, I'll be headlining at Oakwell, but until I get to there, I've just got to prove I'm worthy of that.
Calla, we were at your call for Cody's debut. 100 fans he brought down.
It felt like 10,000, yeah.
Well,
but
I think it could be louder on Saturday. 150 coming.
Yeah, and you know, and look, Cody's certainly got the talk, the swagger, the ambition. It's exciting times, you know. It's exciting times for Yorkshire boxing. I think there is a changing of the guard there. You know, Josh has done a great job there over the years, but that's, you know, all things eventually come to an end. And
every dog has his day, they say, and there's a new kid on block, and it's Cody Smith.
There you go. But you know, when Cody came to us, we worked with Stephen Smith for many years back in the 90s. Not me, but my old man. As a boxer with Darky Smith, who trained Jelko Mavrovic, and you know, he's got that pedigree. He's got that, you know, way forward. He's not scared. If we send him a name, he won't say no. He's one of those sort of fighters, and he stand up and, you know, as I said, you'll see the atmosphere on Saturday night when he fights. At the same time, very exciting before to announce Daniel Toward, obviously, but also Ben's joined the team. Got a great team coming through. We're going to talk about Chloe in a minute. You know, she's got big fight Saturday night, of course, live on DAZN, but she's also, this week, we won the purse bids for the European Championship. And it's great to see that progression and how quickly that progression can come. You know, hard work pays off. Chloe's a leader of that in the team, and I think Cody, Ben, Dan, all the ones coming through are going to be champs of the future. That's why we believe in them. We haven't got the biggest stable. That's not what we do. We believe in signing talents that work. We've always done that over the last 3 decades, and you know, we'll put our contracts and money where we believe the future is.
And Carla, just you, as we moved on to Chloe there, are we looking at the future of the female code in this country?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the fact that the Europeans come so quickly, I was quite surprised. But you know, at the end of the day, Chloe is, you know, is surrounded by great people. Obviously, great trainer in Ricky, and you know, it's, you know, that female boxing has emerged over the years. I remember being involved with Celia Breck, who's becoming the first. You know, the first undisputed fighter, and it's so great to see the talents coming through. So it's tougher and tougher, but at the same time, Chloe is something very, very special.
Chloe, as Carla mentioned, the European title fight potentially on the cards, and you know, only sort of
sorry, Phil, to interrupt. She will definitely be the first female European champion from Birkenhead later this year. That's history in the making.
Chloe, how will Birkenhead react to such an achievement?
You know, I think that'll be made up, especially to see me progress. You know, I started off by fighting with my twin brother and sticking him in washing machines, and then progressed on to GB. And now I've got my 6th fight come Saturday. Obviously, it's amazing to hear about the EBU, but, you know, fully focused for my fight on Saturday. But it does leave me very motivated to know that I am on the right path. But yeah, I feel like I'm the best I've ever been, and I'm looking forward to putting on a good performance.
And Chloe, you were telling us a story recently about how your profile has grown so much and people are recognising you on the street. One particular morning you got shouted at in the street by somebody.
Yeah, my postman. Yeah, so it was about 2 days after my last fight. I came down in my pyjamas and he said, "Oh, is you that girl who I seen box on Channel 5? I was quite embarrassed actually, but yeah, it was good.
And but in terms of performance on Saturday live on DAZN, what can we expect? What are you going to deliver?
Very exciting performance. Like I said, you know, I work hard for all my fights, and you can see that with the opportunities that are coming up. But yeah, just a very exciting, explosive fight, and I'm looking forward to getting in there.
Absolutely, and make sure you tune in and don't miss any of either the heavyweight clash there or any of our prospects, Cody, Chloe or Ben, so make sure you tune in for those fights. Moving on to title contest, the first of 2 on the card on Saturday, the vacant British title between Kays Ashfaq and Liam Dillon. This really does have the potential to steal the show. Liam, we'll start with you mate. Constantly kind of written off, constantly the underdog, constantly taking fights at short notice, but you've persevered and always come through. What is it about you? What's inside that stomach? What keeps you winning and churning and proving people wrong?
It's just my heart. It's just keep pressing forward and taking these opportunities when I can.
And obviously you balance being a professional fighter, Liam, with the day job as well, so it's doubly tough.
It's a great story, this. Scaffolder by day, boxer by night. It's an unbelievable story, but sorry to interrupt, but I was really on the way up.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years, just working around a routine. I work all day and I get to the gym at night. Some days it could be tiring, but again, you just got to press through it. It's got to be done.
And Liam, when you look at Kays, his pedigree, 2016 Olympian, is this the toughest fight you faced so far?
I look at it as my toughest fight, yeah. My last fight was very tough. He was a big puncher, but I've seen Kez, he's very skillful, and been working a lot on my tactics for this fight.
And big motivation, not that you needed it, but extra motivation, given everything you've been through in the last sort of 6 months and what have you. You know, you are fully sort of committed and motivated for a great opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Kez, just explain to the people in the room what would victory for you on Saturday would create history.
Yeah, so basically winning the British title on Saturday would make me the first British-born Pakistani to win the title, and I'm looking forward to making that history Saturday night.
What do you know about Liam? What do you expect him to bring, and how do you expect to sort of deal with that?
Like he said, really, he seems like he's got a lot of heart. but I genuinely believe I'll go in there, and it's about breaking his heart. It's about taking what I believe is something I'm more than capable of winning, and doing it in style.
And in terms of rebuilding your pro career after that defeat, where do you feel mentally now? Are you in a better place than you were earlier on after you turned over following the Olympics?
Mentally, I'm brilliant. I can't knock that side at all. Obviously, in my head, I should have been fighting for this title 2 years ago, but it's given me a chance to grow, really given me a chance to get better, especially when my coach Lee Beard. We've been learning loads in the gym, and like I say, I'm looking forward to showing that and putting on a top performance and stealing the show on Saturday night.
And as we just mentioned there, Case, you were part of the GB team with Josh, Rio teammates. Just tell us a little bit about Josh for people that want to know a bit about what he's like and how good he is, because you've seen him up close all the time. Talent-wise,
unbelievable. I think it was pretty much common knowledge that on the team at the time he was the most naturally talented, and as you can see that in his style now. But with Josh, you see what you get. He's a character, and like I say, you guys from around here know that anyway. And he wears that on his sleeve, and I'm sure I'll go out there and put on a performance to prove how good he is again.
You guys must have sparred?
Once or twice, actually, right. Yeah. There was a bit of weight between us, but once or twice maybe, but...
Nah, but
not
we didn't
much.
spar. Come on, we little text spar, little flip.
That's a spar, isn't it? It's a wee little text spar. He couldn't go hard on me, could he? He's about 4 weights above me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but yeah, little text spars, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't catch him fucking too fast.
Calla, the addition of the British title fight to this card really is special. How do you see it going to different guys from different sort of ends of the boxing spectrum, so to speak? Kay's with the Olympic pedigree, Liam, the underdog, always proving people wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to keep repeating myself about the British title, how great it is, but it is, and this is proof in the pudding. It's a pick and fight. I've heard from Josh how great Case is. Liam is, for me, that's a sort of boxing. A fellow who does scaffolding by day and is able to have a 12-0 record and challenge for a British title is a huge feat in itself. Yeah. He's out there supporting him, his family, so that's fantastic. It's a great storyline, both of them. The first British-born Pakistani is a great story for the sport, and also when you consider the amount of the population in the region, it would be so interesting to have, a star doing something like he could do on Saturday night. So the stories are abundant in it, but at the same time, it's the quality of the fights, and it's, let's face it, it's always, when you don't know who's going to win in a fight, you're going to watch it, aren't you? If you know, even if it's a big name, it's a turn-off. And I love these British title fights. They're always competitive, and, as a general rule, they always deliver a banger. So, yeah, bring it on.
Okay, let's move on to the headline fight of the evening, WBO International Super Welterweight title. Calla, we'll stay with you. Josh Kelly versus Gabriel Corzo. You mentioned it in there. What is at the end for the winner? Let's just go into a bit more detail. You talked about Super 6 tournaments, that type of thing. What's in your mind there, in the matchmaking mind?
I mean, they're very different routes. But in boxing, unfortunately, you don't always pick your path, and opportunities emerge. And I can see an opportunity on both paths emerging this year still, because there's, like I said before, there's the world title situation going on right now, especially around Charlo's belts. What's going to happen there? Josh is number 2 in the world, following his win over Troy in December, so that's great news already, but we are here to build on that, and to build on that, you've got to fight other top contenders, and we've got the number 9 in the world coming from Argentina, undefeated, 18-0, in a very, very live fight. But, of course, there's also the other path, which, as we all know, I do like a domestic blockbuster. There's lots of names out there that are going to be looking for fights as well. We're involved with some, and we're not involved with others. Those names, I don't need to spell out. I think I said it before. I think if you look around that weight, there's a lot of big names. Whether it's Kell Brook returning, whether it's Chris Eubank Jr., whether it's potential return of a Conor Benn, whether it's a Liam Smith. I don't know. I saw Joe Saunders going up to, I saw like this morning light heavyweight, but he certainly can come down in weight. And there's a lot of, I know that not everyone's a fan of the catch weights, but sometimes you've got to make catch weight fights to make the big ones. And there's a lot of big ones there. And it just has that, for me, someone who's been in his career always involved in tournaments has that sort of feel that you could put something interesting together on it.
Indeed. We'll get Josh and Adam Booth's thoughts on that shortly, but let's bring in the opponent, because Gabriel Corzo, unbeaten, 18-0. Gabriel, this is your first fight out of Argentina. So far, how's the experience? Any extra nerves being the away man?
¿Es tu primera pelea fuera de Argentina? ¿Cómo te ha ido hasta ahora? ¿Más nervios de lo normal o bien?
Venimos muy bien, venimos invictos, venimos acá a Inglaterra a ganar.
I'm very well, I'm undefeated, and I come here to the UK to win.
How highly, Gabriel, do you rate Josh? How good is he?
¿Cómo de bueno crees que Josh Kelly?
Vi unos videos ahí que es buen boxeador. Yo tengo que tratar de hacer mi pelea. Vamos a ir de menor a mayor o como se dé la pelea. Venimos muy bien preparados.
I've seen a few videos of him. I think he's a really good boxer. I'm gonna do my fight, start progressing over the rounds, and I came ready.
So, Gabriel, last question for you in terms of, as the away fighter, can you win this fight on points, or do you have to knock out Josh?
¿Crees que estás peleando fuera? ¿Crees que puedes ganar los puntos o crees que vas a tener que noquear a Josh Kelly?
Yo sé que venimos de visitante, vamos a tener que trabajar round a round. Él ya perdió una vez, así que sabemos que puede perder 2 veces.
I'm aware that I'm the away fighter. I'm going to work round by round. He's lost before, and he can lose again.
Josh, you're probably in the middle of one of the most compelling comebacks in British boxing at the minute. Gabriel says you've lost, you can lost again, but you're not in that mental space anymore.
No, not at all. That fight was more about what was going outside the ring than what it was ever inside the ring. But yeah, there's no losing going on Saturday night.
But in terms of the challenge for Gabriel, what do you see? What do you see in front of you, and what have you got to overcome?
Like I keep saying, there's levels to the game, and at the top, when you get at that top echelon, world number 2 now, there's another level again. He's swimming with the sharks essentially. It's gonna be a long night, and it's, for me, it's like a lamb to the slaughter. I've seen him, and I know what he brings, and I'm just gonna show levels again on Saturday night.
I know you don't like to look too far past what's in front of you, but Calla has been mentioning big fights potentially after this one. Give me your thoughts on some of the names that Calla's mentioned and some of the things that you would like to potentially get your hands on after this.
There's huge names. I believe I'm already being avoided in amongst them names because let's face it, everyone wants the money nowadays. Everyone wants these fantasy fights, these mad, crazy fights. So, and I mean, Khaled likes making a few of them himself. So I mean, I can't knock him for it. Money's money. If you're getting paid, if you're getting paid, you're getting paid. Do you know what I mean? If the money comes along with it, then so be it. But I'm here to become world number 1 and become the best and get the belt. So that's why I think these guys are avoiding us. Not avoiding us, but they want to put us in the mix, which I already belong. I belong easily amongst them. Yeah. So that's my opinion.
Gabriel, you're here to ruin those plans. What have you made of what Josh has just said?
¿Qué opinas de lo que acaba de decir Josh Kelly?
Que el sábado se va a ver en el ring vamos a ser nosotros dos. Sé que le puedo ganar por nocaut y que no es como él está diciendo, que me está subestimando mucho y que vamos a dar la sorpresa el sábado. Y aguante Argentina.
Vamos. One question.
Vamos. Okay, now. You get it as well, lad. You get it as well. I'll beat this fella and I'll beat you in it. Easy. I've got a fight today. I'll beat you in a second.
I've got a question. El Terrible. Where did you get the nickname from?
¿De dónde viene el nombre del Terrible?
De Eric el Terrible Morales.
Eric de Terrible Morales.
One of my favourite fighters.
Just a question. Adam, I'll bring you in. We invited some of the media into the gym 6 weeks ago. We got a glimpse of the form that Josh was in then. Where is he at as we approach the fight? How good has he looked? What are you expecting from him on Saturday evening live on DAZN?
Well, I say all the time that all Josh needs to do is fulfil his potential. There is so much that he can do. We've seen it in the gym for years. Over the last, Calla said that end of last year was a closing of a chapter, and it absolutely was. The mental evolution of Josh working with Steve Green was phenomenal. And what we've done this year is taken our time not to jump back in the ring too quickly, because we have been working on now developing him into his physical and mental prime. And what I'm seeing in Josh, physically, technically, and everything else, he's never done before. I'm excited now what the next period brings. That starts on Saturday. And it's all well and good talking about these big names like Eubank Jr., Kell Brook and those guys. It's brilliant. That's fantastic, because Josh does belong in there. And they do not want to fight him because they know what a nightmare he is. But he's got to deal with this job on Saturday first. He's a professional, but he's a commercial professional. We know what the business is. And I'm now sitting back, having focused for 6 months on working with him to start to fulfill his potential in his prime. And I'm just excited for people to see actually what this fella can do that he still hasn't shown, because he's got so much more.
Just expand on, if you would, why you think those guys that you mentioned don't want a piece of Josh.
It's hard to fight someone when you can't hit them. And if Josh chooses that he's not going to let anyone hit him, they're not touching him. And I'm talking about world-class fighters. We know that Josh, in the right mindset, with the right energy, with the right training, is a nightmare for absolutely anyone. And what I'm working on with him is that he's not just a nightmare for them where they can't touch him, but they're getting hurt while it's happening.
Josh, you were sort of nodding along there, in full agreement with what Adam's been saying. You've same mindset that, these guys don't want a piece of you.
Yeah, 100%. But this job, like Adam said, this job needs to be took care of on Saturday and took care of in good fashion. I mean, it's gonna be a night to enjoy. I'm telling you that. But I wanna big up, obviously Troy's fighting on the card. Big up Troy there. He's and Sam Antwi from my gym. He's another talent. So I just wanna big up them two there as well.
And Josh, then just final one to you. What's your prediction? How do you see it going? How do you see it playing out on Saturday?
It's a win. It's a win. But which way I win, it'll be deciding on what Corzo brings. But it could be. Don't blink, because it could be sharp.
And Gabriel, what's your prediction for the fight? Josh thinks it could end quickly.
¿Cuál es tu predicción para la pelea? Josh dice que puede terminar rápido.
Y la mía es que vamos a ganar, venimos a ganar, y bueno, si se da el knockout mucho mejor. Él ya perdió una vez por knockout, y por qué no 2 veces.
I'm gonna win, I don't mind how. If we win by KO, much better. He already lost by KO once, so he can lose by KO twice.
Calla, final word for you. Just final message to people, why they should tune in on Saturday live on DAZN.
You're going to watch a masterclass of the future face of British boxing. Basta.
Great stuff. So thank you very much, everybody. We'll break for head-to-head pictures, and then the guys will be available for one-to-one interviews as well. Thank you very much.